On their agenda is North Korea. While China has been reluctant in the past to take a strong stand against North Korea, yesterday may have marked a change.
We agreed that North Korea must avoid further provocations. I also said that North Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile program is increasingly a direct threat to the security of the United States and our allies. We agreed that the paramount goal must be complete denuclearization of the peninsula.
Well, perhaps we are already seeing the results of the agreement the president mentioned. Well, this morning we have learned that South Korea has accepted a North Korean proposal to hold high-level defense talks. Here to tell us more about this agreement and what it means for South Korean and U.S. security is Ambassador Young-mok Kim. He's Consul General for South Korea in New York. Ambassador, great to have you on the show again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, there has been a lot of breaking news related to Korea, South Korea and North Korean tensions. Tell us what this agreement means, the fact that you've accepted the proposal from North Korea to have high-level military talks.
I think, first of all, the dialogue itself is good for controlling the situation and ease the tension on the peninsula, and all the neighbor countries, including China and Russia, even Japan, would like to see the easing of tension on the peninsula. South Korea under the attack by North Koreans 2 times last year, from the neighbor's ship sinking and then attack on Young-mok Island.
Yes.
And we asked North Korea, okay, if you want the dialogue, please come with genuinity and seriousness to resolve the problem, and you must recognize what you did.
Well, let me get to that for 1 second. I mean, the timing is interesting here. Is it purely coincidental? I mean, whenever we hear heads of state speaking about agreements, you know, it's hard to really read into the body language and understand what's happening behind closed doors. So is this purely coincidence with President Hu's visit, or was there something said in those meetings that led to South Korea's acceptance of this proposal?
I think this is a kind of combination. We have worked very hard with both United States government and Chinese government, and then there have been sequential diplomacy played. And we watched what would happen between President Obama and then President Jin-Tao on the Korean Peninsula. And then if there is a reasonable understanding in which we can persuade North Korea to behave rightly, then we saw the possibility of dialogue. But we didn't know how much North Korea would come up with reasonable attitude. Our precondition or our belief is that we cannot continue to only talk for talks, sake for the talks. We can continue this pattern to North Korea. North Korean position and intention is apparently to get some economic assistance from South Korea, food and energy and some other things, while they were playing on the nuclear weapons and missiles and attack militarily to continue to provoke to whatever their domestic regions.
Now, is South Korea pleased with the pressure that China and the U.S., I mean, the U.S. has been very outspoken on this topic. China seems to be stepping up and realizing that it is a world power now and needs to be very vocal about where it stands on these issues.
You know, among countries concerned, the Chinese was most wanted to dialogue started from the 6-party talks. We made very clear to Chinese on very different occasions that we will be okay for 6-party talks, but you must have the improved atmosphere between the South and North, and we must look at the North Korea, see if they come up with a reasonable proposal, they have a genuine intention to improve, or they're just playing the game. So I think Chinese understood, and we believe that Chinese talk to North Koreans, and then this flurry of diplomacies.
What is the goal in these talks? Is it ultimately to see North Korea completely nuclear free?
Our position and the understanding among governments is that once South and North talks or engagement can really prove that there should be progress in the bilateral context, then we can talk with North Korea on the 6-party talks to resolve nuclear problems. This, one of the reasons why we agreed to accept this meeting is that North Korea announced that they could exchange views on the sinking of naval ships and then attack on the Yeonpyeong Island and any other military tension reduction measures. So that's why we agreed. And then based on this progress, we could go for the nuclear issue.
All right, Ambassador Kim, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We look forward to having you again as these talks progress. Ambassador Kim joining us here on Fast Forward. Stay with us. We'll be right after the break.